Okay, so perhaps you don't believe in the old guy upstairs, but is there another way to think about God? So let's dive into chapter 3. When Swedenborg talks about God, he focuses upon love. The divine in heaven, which makes heaven, is love, because love is spiritual conjunction. The divine of the Lord in heaven is love, for the reason that love is the receptacle of all the things of heaven. And in heaven, by loving the Lord is not meant loving him in respect of his person, but loving the good which is from him. I wonder whether you noticed that. Not in respect of his person. Well, even more puzzling, he continues, and loving the neighbour does not mean loving a companion in respect of his person, but loving the truth which is from the word. What does he mean by that? Well, we get a hint of it later on. The good going forth from the Lord is a likeness of himself because he is in it. And those who make good and truth the principles of their life by intention and action become likenesses of him and are conjoined to him. This echoes something he said earlier in chapter 2. To the extent that the angels receive good and truth from the Lord, in that measure they are angels, and in that measure they are heaven. So the neighbour is the likeness of the Lord in other people, that is, the good and truth they live their lives by. Think about the people you love. Why do you love them? Is it the shape of their nose? Is it the length of their legs? Indeed, is it any physical attribute? Well, no, it's not. We know that's pretty superficial, and we know that it never lasts very long. Perhaps it's their intelligence. Perhaps it's who they vote for. Perhaps it's their relationship to you, or how well they treat you, or the way they treat others. The fact is, we love other people for a tangled mess of reasons sometimes. But the best reason to love someone is not physical, or intellectual, or emotional, or their relationship to you, but as Jesus taught, the extent to which they embody love. Jesus said, "By this all will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another." In the same way as you find it difficult to comprehend the idea of spiritual principles unless they are embodied in a person that you regard as a neighbour or friend, the value of viewing God as a person lies in the embodiment of what would otherwise be an indistinct and vague idea of love. Both the personal view and the objective view of any principle are useful in being able to relate meaningfully to it and bring it into worldly experience, and in understanding the underlying reality which should be the true focus of our attention. If you're interested to know more, I'd recommend having a look at this book, Divine Love and Wisdom. It's a highly philosophical text, and it deals with the nature of God conceptually rather than from person. So, for example, he mentions Jesus only 4 times, and each time he is quoting Jesus' teachings from the Bible. In previous episodes, we've looked at Swedenborg's influences, and today I thought we'd look at poets and other writers. If we turn to America, we find names such as Ralph Waldo Emerson, Edwin Markham, Robert Frost, Ezra Pound, and Anna Collier Lee. If we go across the pond to Britain, we find William Blake and William Butler Yeats, and there are many others, but I'll mention especially the poem entitled Correspondences by Charles Baudelaire. To finish off, a final question. I wonder if you noticed the missing heaven. In paragraph 15, Swedenborg talks about the third, inmost heaven, and then the second, middle heaven. But what do you think the first or lowest heaven is? I'd love for you to share your thoughts in the comments below. As always, you're welcome to read along with us, or you're welcome to read ahead and ask any questions you may have. Add them to the comments below as you go along. Enjoy the journey.